I love that this is our second, technically talking. And I want to know, oh, and by the way, I am an actress, comedian, most of the world don't know who I am, but
stop it. They will.
they will, hopefully, especially after my episode on Dexter New Blood. I had 2 episodes there. Next week I'm getting certified to be a Theta energy healer. So I've been in an academy called Angel Alchemist Academy. So AAA, which is cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is a lot of fun. Like I'm gonna incorporate, and then in June I was accepted in the Black Women in Comedy Laugh Fest in New York, and I will be performing in the festival as a comic, but also leading a Theta energy healing workshop. So I'm going to be doing healing for the girls.
Yeah.
Oh girl, I can't wait. Like, it's going to be epic, because there's another, I believe there's another a Reiki healer that's going to be doing Reiki for the comics as well, whoever attends the workshop. And so there's 2 of us, and I believe she's a comedian as well. I'm just assuming that she is. So that's going to be epic. That's different. Like last year I was in the festival and we had like a healing, it was more of a yoga healing session last year, just a relaxation. But this year they're adding quite a few different workshops. So I'm really excited.
Yay. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't wait to either be there or hear so much about it.
Oh, if you could come, that would be amazing. You will love it.
Oh my gosh.
They've got clubs. A lot of major clubs have like, a lot of the girls are performing at major clubs, and lots of little spots too.
Yeah.
In Brooklyn, like mainly in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So it's going to be so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I know. It sounds like fun. So I know that it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah. And it's during my birthday week too, which is like last year I performed on my actual birthday, June 17th. And so, so this year it's from June 15th through the 19th. So I'll be there on my birthday again. So
nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So everyone who has joined us today, this is Awet.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that you have taken the time to chat, and we've just had amazing conversations with each other, just absolutely amazing conversations with each other. And I just love your vibe. I love your spirit, and you are funny. You hold back for no one, and I love I love that. I love that vulnerability and just expression of you.
Thank you.
To share with everyone. I do. I love it. So thank you for taking the time to be here and be with me, be with us, and share your energy, because a lot of people kind of hold back and are like, oh my gosh, wait, you want me to do what? And it's just like, the reason why I ask the people that I do is because I believe that you guys are healing people and you're helping people to know themselves and to delve deeper within themselves, to know other people as well. I mean, we're all connected. So
yeah.
And I admire what you do, and where you've come from, that has brought you to where you are now, and just the amazing things you're going to do in the future. Let's go. Let's go. So, I mean, you did a pretty good introduction of yourself. So
when you're constantly introducing, you're having to introduce yourself, I kind of just do that because it's like,
yeah. I love it. I love it.
No, yeah, I didn't mean to step on your toes.
No, oh my gosh, no, you definitely didn't. I love that you have so much. I in what I was writing to introduce you, I referred you as a bombshell.
Oh,
like
wow.
You are a beautiful bombshell because you just express, that beautiful vibe and, like I said, the vulnerability. So and I admire that and I love that about you. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, actually, if you want to go ahead and do the introduction, that would probably be great. Yeah. So
Okay.
that way, yeah.
Awet. Compton Network Plus certified and Emerson College alumni with a BA in visual and media art /TV is a beautiful bombshell. Her titles include Eritrean-American comic, actress, voiceover artist, radio host, and published writer. You may have seen and heard Awet in episodes of TV One's For My Man and radio hosting on 1410 AM, The Best of Boston, as co-host of The Moet Show. I think I remember that. That was, we'll talk about it later. With the legendary Maurice Wilkie. Awet featured in the 2016 Ghostbuster movie, the deleted scenes. An article write-up in the Humor Mill magazine, January 2016 issue. She was a contestant on 2 episodes, including an all-star episode on the Sci-Fi Channel's comedy show, Total Blackout, and is a winner of the Best of the Fest 2020 Showcase Comedians at Flappers COVID. Awet is a published writer in an anthology of women's stories titled What Doesn't Kill Her, Women's Stories of Resilience, which you should go buy on Amazon today. Currently, Awet is an actress playing Dr. Patel on Showtime's Dexter. Amazement. Absolute amazement. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I love you. I love your spirit. And yeah, welcome to Circle of Healing.
And I guess it's actually Dexter New Blood is the latest season. Yeah. But thank you for that intro. That was perfect.
I tried, girl. Girl, I'm better just like us, just putting it out there and talking. When I have to read stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Where's my ruler?
And it was a lot. So thank you so much. And I wanted to say, like, the thing that I noticed when I was writing out, sort of just like a bio or whatever, I noticed, okay, I was on 2 episodes of this, 2 episodes of that, 2 of the episodes of this. I'm like, wait a minute, what is up with this 2? Like 2 is my number because I was on 2 episodes each of those 3 shows that you mentioned. Plus I recorded 2 radio ads when I was radio ads that were on the air, like while I was hosting at 1410 AM or WZBR. And then those 2 like featured background roles that I experienced. One on, Ghostbusters, as you mentioned, and then the other was Daddy's Home 2. So I was like, what is up with these twos? And then this year, oh my God, February 22nd, 2022. I'm like, oh my God, like it's just very interesting. And of course I'm a Gemini, so that's a 2. And then so that's my
explains a lot.
my address, numerical portion of my address adds up to the number 2, and I live in apartment 2.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's something
synchronicity. Hello.
Synchronicity, like hardcore.
Yeah.
So, and I guess the universe has just been guiding me and leading me along the way the whole time. And it's just, you're just kind of, so when you're just listening to the universe, listening to your higher self and listening to your, inner guidance, like these synchronicities make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, it's no coincidence. And I was born on a Tuesday. I was born on a Tuesday. So it's just like all of that, just I love it. I love like we all go through our stuff. Like I still, struggle through my, as I said earlier, hormonal imbalances that I try to correct, and I have to, simply continue to attend to. Like you just have to, do whatever it is that your body needs, to keep moving and to keep going.
Definitely.
We're all very unique. We're all very different, and we all have different like life experiences that we have to go through to like get where we need, get where we're meant to be, in life. Yeah. So, and when you don't listen and when you don't say yes, that's when you miss opportunities. That's when you self-sabotage. That's when like, you're off your path again. And it's just like, okay, I've experienced too many of those, and I've like paid the consequence of not listening to that little voice in you that says, both. You know what I'm saying? Like, do this, do that. Like, when you don't do it and when you don't do that, you pay the consequence. Yes, and you can only blame yourself. Exactly. So yeah, so I practice the art of simply like saying yes to my inner self. And it's not about saying yes to everything, because you can't say yes to everything. And it's like,
you gotta have boundaries.
You gotta have boundaries.
Yeah, with yourself and with everybody outside of you. You gotta have those boundaries.
Yeah, not all opportunities are good opportunities, exactly. Or not, or opportunity. And sometimes like, and so I don't know about if there's like a God that like is out there to trick you or whatever, but sometimes I do feel like, wait a minute, this like something does come when an opportunity comes. Sometimes it's a distraction. Yeah. It's not, it might have like, it might present itself as, enticing. Yeah. Enticing. But then it's like, there's something not right about this. Like I feel something ain't right. Like, so you have to just pay. Like, I think my biggest life lesson has been patience, and having patience with myself. Yeah. Like learning, like and it's just like, okay, I'm fine. Especially when you're not in fight or flight mode, meaning like survival mode. Yeah. Get yourself out of that as quickly as possible. Like sacrifice whatever it is you need to sacrifice, whether if you need to live with like, 18 people, to pay that low rent, to get yourself in a position that isn't, starving and paying your bills fine, and like, and just get yourself in a position where you're okay. Exactly. And then because from that space, you will properly manifest. If you're like struggling to pay rent, or if you're in trouble in some kind of way, or if you're struggling to like eat food or even put gas in your car, like you're not going to manifest properly. You're only thinking about surviving. Exactly. So sometimes we do have to take a step back. We do have to like sacrifice some things, some luxuries for a little while until you get yourself in a position to have more luxuries, but be realistic about your where you are in life. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how you move forward. And then I say like, and everyone's like, when you have like anxiety, like you're thinking about, I should be at this place. Your ego can really like get the best of you. Yeah. And it's like, I shouldn't have to work this kind of job. I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to do that. It's like, okay, that's ego talking. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because if I have to work a certain job for now, I'm going to be placed. That's the blessing that the universe had just sent you. It's like, yo, you're qualified for this. And it's really easy for you to blah, blah, blah. It's probably thinking about your stress level too. It's like, it won't stress you out. It'll give you just enough, just to, make sure that you have your bills paid or whatever. And then you can have the time and space to manifest, a little bit more. A little bit more, a little bit more. So be like, take small steps. Like it's like sometimes like your manifestation, you want to manifest that big thing, but you are not in this position to even accept that big thing yet. You've got too much junk.
You can't see it.
You can't see that too. You can't even see it when it comes.
Nope.
So what I tell people is like, shoot, if you just need, what do you really need right now? That's what you should be manifesting. Shoot, if I just had, that's how my manifestations are so specific. It's I'm at a genius level with it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, because it's like, oh my, how did you manifest that? Like I manifested, when for instance, I was awarded a fellowship at Hack Diversity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was a technical writer, for this company. And so it was a 9-month fellowship, but the internship wasn't going to start until the summer. So we had to figure out how to basically supplement our income, the first 6 months. Right. So I needed, and then I got into a car accident. So had to get like physical therapy. Yeah. So it was just like, so I had to do 20 hours of physical therapy per week, every week. And it was like, okay, so that means I can only work 20 hours. So I manifested a job, a temporary position that only needed me for 20 hours a week. In that way I had, and it was like during it was like the hours were even perfect because like in the mornings I could do my therapy, go in the afternoon to work the job. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I couldn't believe it. Like it was just like, I can't believe I just manifested that. And then it ended like literally days before my paid internship started in the summer. Do you see what, like that's how right, but that's how that's how you do it. Yeah. It's just like, okay, because this is what I need right now. And that's how, and then of course the blessings from that internship happen because you do a good job, whatever. And then you manifest something else after that. So like I learned something there, and then I needed more training. I discovered, okay, if I'm going to continue in this tech industry, I need more training. So then I would like applied into another program, got accepted, and then you just keep flowing. It was like, okay, so what do I need for that position? And then there was some roadblocks along that way, and I had to manifest. And then COVID happened, which was a ginormous roadblock, and it was like, oh my God, like so far I wasn't. So the office closed that because when you're in training, you could get unemployment. So that office closed. So I didn't get paid while I was in training for a month, like for about 2 months. So then when they finally reopened, that's when like all of the back pay happened. But how did I get through that? I had to manifest specific things to get me through that. And I did. Like, so it just so happened that my tax return was just enough to cover what I needed to get me through that time. Do you see what I'm saying?
You always get what you need, but what we're supposed to do, and I don't know if you even like touched on that, but the biggest part of that is to have that patience to stop going, because when you're doing that, when you're just going, you're not, like we were saying, you can't realize what you can't see it, what's right in front of you, because you're just going and you're adding on stuff to a path that you're not even supposed to be on. And so you can't see where you're actually supposed to be because you're just continuously going instead of taking the time to sit and go, okay, what is it that I need right now? And then what is it that I desire? Those are two different things.
Right.
What do I need? Do I have everything that I need? And if I don't have everything that I need, God, please provide that for me so that I can get what I desire. The manifestation.
Oh.
The manifestation of what I desire, you know? So, but
can I add to that?
Yes.
Okay, because I just had some clarity. Woo, yeah. So because if you don't have what you need right now, you won't be in a position energetically, spiritually,
yes,
you know, or emotionally to manifest what you desire. Because trust me, because you're in that space of, because again, you want to stay away from that fight or flight mode as much as possible, and don't ever put yourself in that position ever again.
Yeah.
And you know, and once you've learned those lessons, you'll figure out how to stay away from that. You know, and always, and the one one message that I got too from spirit, you know, God, or just that inner voice, wherever it comes from, it could be all of them, was that no one was coming for me. No one was coming to save me.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
And that was it was just, and it was like, you know how, because some women, it was like, oh, maybe I could just find a man to, you know, that's doing well and like financially and in a position to just take care of me and whatever. Girl, no. God was like, no one's coming. Like, you are the only one that's going to get yourself out of this. And I was like, okay. So then, like, once I learned, so the biggest lesson that I learned last year too was cutting all codependency, all of the codependencies that I had subconsciously or consciously had to be cut, even from my mother. You know what I mean? Especially from my mom. She was my biggest codependent connection, you know, that I connected to her, you know, and I was doing it because she's always, I'm an only child, and she kind of just it's like, you know, knee-jerk reaction to just,
that's her job.
Like, that's her job, to just give me whatever I want, you know, or whatever it is. And then actually she learned years ago, about 10 years ago, she started to not do that. And I was like, okay. So then that's when I was like living in LA still. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you. And that's the best thing that a parent can possibly do for a child, is to cut them off sometimes. And it's like, okay, I hear you. But at the same time, you know, and then it was really tricky, because like, I never tell, and the codependency works in so many ways. Yeah. So anyway, but the overall is that so I had to cut off that. There was like a seed that was planted, even though I've never relied on a guy for money ever. Like, I've always paid my own bills. I've never had like a situation where I was even living with a guy ever. Yeah. But it's still, because it was ingrained in me for so long, like since I was a baby, that, you know, like eventually you will finally be okay when a man marries you and starts paying all the bills and you don't have to worry. And it's just like, okay, just like in that scene in Harry Potter, when he thought his father came to save him when he was when he was being killed by I forget what they're called, the Dementors. And he was like, my father showed up and he came, whatever, and he was the one that you know, made all the Dementors go away. It was just like, like, I know it's goofy, but no, I'm the one, just like he discovered, you know, that he was the one that saved himself from being killed by those Dementors. And it was like, yeah, I'm the one that's saving myself from, you know, from the Dementors of life. You know what I'm saying? It was just like,
do you know that there's so many people in this world? And I think it's a huge issue. It's something that I teach all the time, you know, is we struggle to blame ourselves. We blame ourselves in a negative way. We're our worst critic, but we don't hold ourselves accountable for the things that we do. We don't want to see that.
Right.
Somebody else has to be the culprit of my time, because I would not put myself through this. I would not do this to me. I would not, you know what I mean? That person, that situation is the reason why this happened.
Yeah.
This is the outcome of that situation. Once you realize that the situations that we're in and we experience and the people that we're around and what we allow and what we don't allow, those things are all reflections of ourselves.
Yeah.
So if we do not heal those within ourselves and see those within ourselves and acknowledge that the reason why these things are occurring are because of ourselves. No one else, nothing else, no one else can change or alter or whatever unless we allow it or don't allow it.
Yes.
Don't allow it. Don't allow it. Only allow what you choose to allow. And I pray that everybody chooses the high frequenting, high vibing, just it's your choice. So many people don't like to hear that. We were created that it's the best thing in life for all of us. We're created to have a choice.
Yep.
That is our biggest.
Oh, you got it. I'm
like
I'm feeling that so much.
Like I don't want to say flaw, but I guess
no, or can we call it something else? No, that's the magic. Okay, let's put a twist on it and actually make that a good thing and make that a positive thing. That's where the magic, that's where the magic is, because it's like, because you know you have a choice. Like after you've finally chosen or manifested properly, you know what I mean, by responsibly is how it, and being more practical with your manifestations. Because when you're more practical, you know, you're taking care of yourself along the way. And what does that do? That creates compassion for you. That creates it less stress for you. You're suddenly like you're almost spiritually, like you're giving yourself a spiritual massage the entire way. And then it's like, okay, and now you're feeling better, right? And then you're like, okay, now I can't believe I'm finally in a position. And sometimes the universe is like, hey, guess what? That job situation didn't work out because I need you to take a break. And I need you to, and I'm giving you enough, you know, on unemployment for now, just to give yourself that time to decide which way you really want to go. And I need you to listen. And now you're in a position to finally hear what I'm saying to you and hear why, you know, we need you to open yourself up in this direction and you know, and then also too, it's like, okay, you can keep some of this but let go of that. You can keep, you know what I mean? And then, so it's like, so then the pivot doesn't have to be as like
drastic.
However, my drastic pivots have been dope.
They have, but we don't realize it. We don't realize it until we're through it.
Right.
Because when you're in it, you're like, what the hell is happening right now? Why am I even dealing with this? You don't want to ask that. You don't want to ask that question. What else? What else can you? That's the worst.
Right. Because it's like, we'll show you.
That. Don't ever ask. What more can you do? What more?
Because it is alive. It's alive, and it's listening.
My goodness.
And it's listening to every word you say. Here, and it was like, you're showing me that you want more of what you're going through because you're paying so much attention to it. So I'm just gonna keep giving it to you. Keep giving it to you. It doesn't have a personality. It doesn't have. It's like a computer. It's like it listens to your every word and command and gives it to you. It's like it doesn't have it's a computer.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have a personality. Like it doesn't. So oh God. Okay. So like, but but okay. So also, I didn't do all of this alone, right?
Yeah.
And you know this as well. It's like you don't do it all alone, especially with when I'm tapping into, the other
Source
energy,
energy.
the source
Yes.
energy.
Yes.
So it's just like, so when you know that source energy has got your back 1000%, because
Yes.
they need your permission, because when we're having this like human experience, there's something called free will.
Yeah.
So they're like, babe, you're here to learn. So it's like,
Yeah.
we'll step in. We got you. Like we'll step
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
When you ask. And it's just like, and when
Exactly.
you ask, we will show you the way. Like we'll show you an easier way. Like when you're ready to experience an easier way, when you feel like you just want to keep on struggling and fighting through this, that, and the other, you could do that too. It's free will, and you're not wrong to have that experience. It's simply an experience. It's almost like we're definitely like in a simulation. You know what I'm saying? Is what I believe, is that we're definitely in a simulation, and we're definitely like choosing obstacle courses. So you could choose, a really rigorous and treacherous and stressful windy path obstacle course, or there's always that, the more blissful, higher vibrational, peaceful course too. So when you are ready for that, it is there for you to choose. It's right there.
Right there.
It's right there.
Right there.
so
right there.
Yeah. So that's where I'm finally at, and it's taken this long to get here, but it's okay. Like, and even that, when you're finally there, all is all is well. Like anything that you've lost is given right back to you. You just get caught up so fast, and it's just like, it's all good. Like, and all of that, what you did, guess what? It actually has given you wisdom that you did need if you wanted to manifest XYZ anyway. So whether you so there's no like, it's okay. Like you're still going to reap the rewards of all those lessons that you had to learn, and all the karmic experience, karmic relationships that you've had. It simply is just adding to the wealth of your wisdom. And now you get to teach, and now you get to do this, and now you get to do that. And now you get to use all of this knowledge for that in this way. And even the stuff that you did before, like as an actress, now I have such a depth of experience of life. Like I've gone through so much stuff that I'm pouring all of that into my acting. And it's real. It's like,
that's because everything happens the way that it's
supposed to.
People need to realize that everything, whether you see it as a positive, a negative, a harsh, beautiful, like however you perceive any situation, once you realize that every situation that we go through is for the destination, it's for where you're going. Like the destination is already set. God has already said, this is who you are, this is who you will become. Our life is the experiencing whatever we need to in order to get to that destination.
Okay, hold up. I do want to say this though. Even that is a choice, because we're here to learn. This is literally a battlefield. Like we're literally here to learn. So like, so but God is like, okay, these are you have, there's so many potentials within you that is that you don't even, you can't even imagine that you're capable of. But how many of those potentials that you unlock is your choice still.
Oh yeah.
Like, and they will be there for you, like to nudge you in that direction, or like to give you insights, or to give you inspirations, or to be like, yep, you need to do that. Like, we've been telling you to do this for, and it might be the littlest thing. Like for me, actually,
majority of the time it is the littlest thing.
Okay, the littlest thing, you know, could be like, go for a walk. Okay, go for a walk, and I need you to stretch every morning. Just go for a walk and stretch in the morning, because that in itself will like release some blockages, you know. That,
and in your head you're going, I don't have time.
Right. It's like,
I don't have time for that.
We're saying, I know, and I'm getting goosebumps right now, because what they're saying is, if you take a walk and if you stretch in the morning, guess what? You're going to find time, because you're going to release that block and and see that you're just getting in your own way. Like, so, and then, and if you don't walk and stretch, you're still going to continue to have some of those hormonal imbalance issues that you are experiencing, because you're not doing what we're saying. And and until you listen, like, you know, how finally, when you finally listen and do it, that voice is gone. It disappears.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, but we have, and it's there, and they love it. They don't mind reminding us over and over again, because it's okay. It's like, it's almost like, it's okay. They still love you. They still have compassion for you. They still adore you, and they still want you to get there. And however long you get there, they have, you know, they are loving you the entire way anyway. So it's all love, but it's like, but it's also, it's our choice. So
I laugh because I know there are situations that I've actually been like, I know you guys are laughing at me right now. And I'll tell them, I know, I'm not supposed to be doing it. I know. I'm not, and it's only because I know that spirit is like I hear what I'm hearing, but I'm like, I need to learn how to get through it.
Yeah.
In order to, I'm like, I hear you, and I know that I need to be doing that, but let me just do this. And they're just like, okay, if that's what you're choosing, then that's what you're choosing. And then when that's done, I'm like, oh, well, wait a minute. as soon as they're just like, okay, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, let me sit down. You know, let me, maybe I'm moving too fast. Putting too much, you know, and then I'm just like, okay, God, I'm ready. What do you need to tell me? Where do you need to guide me? What do I need to do? You know, and that took for me to learn to slow down. And to listen and to hear this, and to see the signs, and to hear the signs, and you know what I mean. It took for me to get to that point, and a lot of people, it takes so much longer to get to that point. I advise people all the time, don't make God tell you, sit your behind down. Because when that happens, you have absolutely no choice but to listen. And that's happened to me way more than I'd like to admit. But I learned. And now I as soon as I'm just like, okay, all right, I am doing too much. All right.
Yeah. So, gosh, don't you love looking back on hindsight and remembering those times? And it's like, and then, you know, I remember the day that my clairaudience woke me up again several times. It was, my clairaudience happened in high school, and then in LA, right? Well, I was in LA around 2003. But like in high school, I remember, you know, sleeping on my mom's couch, and then would always, when I fell asleep in the middle of the night, all of a sudden I'll hear a voice that says, wake up, like really loud. And like, so it wakes me up, and then I just go to my room and sleep. Right. And then like in LA, I was moving too fast. I remember it was around 2003. And then all of a sudden my ear vibrated violently, and a voice called out my name, Awet, right? and then for years I would, I was calling psychics and asking them who was that. They could never answer me. But guess what? I finally realized they can't answer you because it was me. Like, or it was me, or either like my higher self using my voice, because the voice sounded like me. Right. So it was just like, it's very interesting, these spiritual awakenings that happen along the way, but then it kind of happens and then you just ignore it and keep walking. And that's what I did. But I think what I wanted, I'm saying this for a reason. Something, because you said something right before and I wanted to share this for that reason. Oh man, I forgot. God, I had a great point.
Rewind.
What were you talking about earlier?
I was saying that, I don't know, we have a choice.
The choice. We have a choice. I'm sorry.
Listen, it's okay. Listen in the spirit, taking our time.
Oh, taking our time. Oh God, girl, I don't know. Your time. Yeah, well, I like taking my time. Like time, yeah, like I said, I guess patience is having patience with myself is the biggest thing.
It's all of us.
Yeah.
It's all of us. And once we realize that it's imperative in order to have healthy relationships outside of us, like, just sit down and listen, write in a journal, listen to some motivating, inspirational things. Take the time for you. I know you said that your one of your life lessons is patience.
I remembered. The reason why, I didn't want to forget. I'm sorry. I was like, oh shit, it popped back in my head.
Go ahead.
Because it's something that you and I both experienced. You talked about when God forces you to sit down. So that's what it was. So you had a life experience because God was like, okay, I'm going to force you to take a break and sit, and just sit still. You know what I mean? And both, unfortunately, in my experience was a car accident version of that. And my ankle was broken, and I was forced to be in a cast for 5 weeks and slow down. And that was actually not too long after the voice called out my name in my ear. And so I think and that was when because it was the start of my lessons about manifesting. Process. Well, the laws of attraction and The Secret came out at that time. And I was a member of Agape International Spiritual Center, and Reverend Michael was in the book, The Secret.
Michael.
Yes, Reverend Michael is the founder of Agape. And so I was a member of Agape at that time, and I was watching The Secret and all up in, Abraham Hicks and the laws of attraction and all of that, but I wasn't really practicing or doing the work. So and I was receiving messages, but wasn't listening. And it was like, okay, because I was manifesting stuff that was really dangerous. And I actually manifested that car accident because I kept telling people, I was like, yeah, I lived in LA at this point 6 years now. And on the 6th year, that's when people get into car accidents. I was acting like a dumbass toddler, hitting everything and touching everything, and not knowing what I was touching. So I was saying negative shit and allowing, and I was literally allowing that experience because I was emotionally manifesting. And I was emotionally believing that I'm gonna get into a car accident, and it was I was like, it's gonna happen. And of course it happened. And it was, and spirit was just like, Awet, do you really want this to happen? And it was warning me, what are you gonna do if your car is totaled? And I was like, what are you talking about? It's a brand new car. And I was getting messages and questions. What are you gonna do if you break break a bone? I was like, I've never broken a bone in my life. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, what? Because my hand went to my ankle and I knew I was going to break my ankle. And I was like, how the hell? I was terrified. And I was like, what? I'm so like, I think the ancestors or my guides, I have like these 3 women that travel with me, you know, everywhere, spiritual women. I think they were like, you need to pray to live. Do you want to die? Because that's kind of a possibility too. Like, do you want to live? Because they're kind of making arrangements for you to die. And I was like, what? I was like, no, I want it. So I was in my car one time praying to live. Like, something told me to pray for my life. And I did. So then that night, everything worked out perfectly. Everything worked out perfectly. My ankle broke and I wore the perfect boots that hugged my ankles real tight. And the doctor was like, because you wore those boots, your ankle broke like perfectly, no shatter. Like, you didn't have multiple. If you had multiple bones, we would have had to do surgery, put needles in your ankle, and you will never walk the same again the rest of your life. But it was a perfect break, and therefore they was like, don't move. We're like, we're gonna put a cast on this, don't you fucking move. And I was like, okay, wrap that sucker. And they was like, okay, keep it in position. Don't lean on it, don't do anything. So I did not move that ankle for 5 weeks. This is LA in the middle, at 3:00 in the morning. Everyone drives in LA, no one takes the bus. There were 5 people at the bus stop at 3:00 in the morning that night, like, just as it happened. So what happened was, like, a drunk driver was racing someone like an idiot. And the thing is, when it rains in LA, the oil rises up to the surface because it's like a desert. It doesn't rain very often. So oil gets trapped in the ground. And so when it rains, oil. So I was at San Vicente, and it's historically known. It is the most oily patch area. And it's very dangerous to drive. You could be driving 3 miles an hour and your car will slide. It's that oily, right? Wow. So this drunk driver was trying to race someone. And the person that he was racing ended up being my witness in court to this idiot's behavior. Like, everything just happened beautifully. And then, like, the thing is, but I hit my head so hard. I experienced that phenomenon where you go blind. Like, you only see the peripheral of a person's face, but everything else is black. You see a black hole. Wow. So all of that happened that night. So I never actually saw my witness. I never saw what he looked like because I was blind at that time. So then and I was falling asleep, so I must have had a concussion.
Oh my goodness.
So the person at the bus, she was like, don't go to sleep. I was falling asleep. And then the person was like, don't sleep. Because I have a feeling, had I slept, number one, I would have been in a coma. And number 2, anything I might have experienced that blindness a little more permanently. It might have taken a lot longer. But because I stayed awake, my brain corrected itself. And then I was able to see again, like maybe about an hour later or something like that. It was weird. So, but then I always tell people, so, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard of something called a walk-in spirit.
Yeah.
So I experienced one that night because, like, my old spirit left and a walk-in spirit took over that night. Yeah. And that happened at the hospital. And if you look up walk-in spirits, they usually happen during suicides or suicide attempts and car accidents.
Yeah, dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah. So that happened that night. So I experienced, and I promise you, when I walked out of that hospital, I had all of my same memory, but I was a different person, like that. So I cleaned house. So whoever that spirit was immediately started cleaning house. Like, there were people, I put up so many boundaries. My family thought I was crazy. And I was like, yo, I don't know what happened to me last night, but I'm not the same person. And I don't like your energy. And I don't like the way that you speak to me. And therefore you cannot you can't call me anymore. Stop calling me. And then it was like, how dare you? You know, I'm your aunt. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I don't care. Like you're mentally and emotionally abusive. I don't, and you're dumping on me all the time. I don't need this shit. Like, I don't need you to dump on me. I don't need you to call me with your negativity. Stop calling me. And that's what I did. Like, and that was just one example. I cleaned house. I was telling everybody off. Oh, and I was telling everybody off. And I was just like, okay, now it's time for me to, you remember when Sophia finally woke up in the color purple? That's what Sophia back now. I had that. That's what I experienced. That's exactly what it felt like.
That was you, what you did when you had the walk-in. That experience is you died. The old you died. Literally died. I know.
Literally.
It happened to me. And when I woke from that, I felt so much freedom.
Yes.
I felt like a whole different person, the same person, but a different person.
Right.
It was unbelievable. I just stopped taking shit.
Yeah.
I just, it was so freeing.
Yeah.
And it was so eye-opening that I had to hermit for a little while because I was just like, okay, God, please help me, because why am I just like, no, I can't even deal with so-and-so. I can't. It's not even, and truthfully, I didn't feel like it was me choosing at that time. It didn't feel like me choosing that I can't. It was, I just couldn't. There was,
yep. You were,
I just didn't have it in me to do it. I couldn't.
Do you think we also, I think because we, that sense of like, I can't, like, oh my God, like, it's so toxic. Yeah. This person is so toxic. Like, you don't see how toxic they are until we didn't see it until we died and had a rebirth, literally.
Yeah.
And I wonder too if well, I feel like I'm only experiencing like fifth dimensional things now. Like, because I was gonna say, oh, did we go to a different dimension? Maybe we traveled back and forth for a while, but like I feel like maybe now I'm like settling in to a higher dimension. You too, right? Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Me too. It took, like I said, it took a while.
Yeah.
And because like I was saying earlier, I know you spoke about one of your life lessons being patience.
Yes.
And I believe a lot of that was mine too, but I've seemed to have a lot of patience over my lifetime. I believe that one of my life lessons, and I know it sounds so crazy, but one of my life lessons was to love me.
Okay.
To learn how to love me. And it completely just shocked me that I didn't love me. It completely shocked me. I'm like, what do you mean? How? Of course I love me. But going, like I said, God took me to those roads where he was just like, let me show you. Let me show you.
How you don't love you.
And I was just like, oh wow. I guess I don't love
right.
you.
So let's clarify. Yeah, so let's clarify to people why what we say. So setting up boundaries is a way of loving yourself.
Yes.
Stop eating, certain foods, is a way of loving yourself.
Yes.
Like, exercising.
The negative self-talk. The negative self-talk that
putting an end to that.
Yeah.
and now I'm even so like hardcore about it, that like I'll when someone says something that could potentially be seen as a curse put on your life or something, I'll bless it immediately, or say, well, thank God I don't have that. Like, well,
Yes.
and thank God. Like,
Yes.
and I'll bless it immediately. Or if someone tries to say something negative, like not intentionally, but like for, let me just give you an example. Like my doctor, okay, like, oh, so does your mother have any history of type 2 diabetes? And I'm just like, no, she doesn't, and thank God she doesn't. Because that
Yes.
sometimes in that one moment, it's almost like giving that person permission to put that shit on someone else's life. And I'm like, thank God, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
doesn't, like, no, she doesn't, and therefore it's not like a hereditary thing. Like,
yeah, I had to do that when I was diagnosed with the MS.
yeah,
And when they told me, this is during the year of bed rest, when they told me, oh, it's just going to get worse, and it's so bad that within a year we see you in a wheelchair. And I looked at my doctor and I said, I do not claim that.
that's what I did too.
I said, in the name of Jesus, no.
I don't claim that. I don't claim it. It's not me.
Claim that.
I'm
And
not claiming that mess.
I was like in shock, like.
But to be fair,
But
you know what? Right. And okay, but I don't. Right. Okay, but I don't want to put out into the universe that doctors are bad, because they have saved my life. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
but I don't think they realize. I don't think they realize that when they say certain things to us, and not just that, but also we have to, if we accept certain things, that's the biggest, that's
right.
The key
No,
of everything.
it's like permission. You're not giving. Yeah. Don't give it permission. Don't give that shit permission. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't realize we are in a simulation of our own creation. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if you allow that program to be installed, the program, the MS program, where you're bound to a wheelchair, will be inserted.
Yeah.
And upload. It's literally like that. So it's just like, okay, no, I'm not accepting.
I've learned to be like, I get any low energy or negative that I speak, and it comes out, and I'm like, oh, because I realize it now immediately. I'm like, oh, I take it back.
Immediately.
Erase that.
Erase it, delete it, trash, put it in the trash,
yep.
And then empty the trash. You know what I'm saying?
And then
like,
instantly
and empty
I say
that
something
trash.
positive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You have to. Like, that's how serious. Like, people might. I don't care if people think I'm crazy, because it's like, yo, words really do have power in this very alive simulation.
Yeah.
So do not accept shit that you aren't ready to experience. You know what I mean? Because you will experience it. Yeah,
exactly. And
do your best.
I encourage everyone to really pay attention to, when you wake up in the morning, even if you just do it for one day, pay attention to the thoughts that come into your head when you wake up. Pay attention to how your day goes. Pay attention to what happens throughout your day. At the end of your day, before you go to sleep, ask yourself, how was my day? What happened in my day that I did not have control over? Why do I feel as though I didn't have control over it? What can I do differently tomorrow?
That's good.
Thank yourself for getting through the day.
Yeah.
The following day, do it again. What if you do this for a week and you pay attention to that? I promise you that you're going to start waking up in the morning and start intentionally thinking positive thoughts and intentionally seeing how your positive thoughts change and alter your days.
Yes.
The more you do that, oh my goodness. I the other day I woke up and I don't know, I didn't have anything planned for the day, but I woke up in the morning and I felt, oh my goodness, like so much brightness and just so much energy. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know where this came from, but thank you. Thank you so much. Today's going to be an amazing day. Yes. And what happened? Today was amazing. Later on that night, I was just like, oh my gosh, it just flowed. That's my like signature. Just
I'll take that.
Flow. Just let it flow. Whatever happens is gonna happen.
I'll take a page out of your daily practice, because it feels like, wow, if you actually have the discipline to do it, and I could really see how impactful it will be, like at the end of your week, like if you actually practice that, because
and it starts discipline. To be automatic.
Yeah,
it starts to put you in that it's literally retraining
your subconscious,
your mind. It retrains, and then before you know it, it starts to happen automatically.
Yeah,
where you're just like, oh my gosh. And then things around you, you're just like, wow, that was a really nice conversation with somebody that a few weeks ago we couldn't even converse with each other because it was like two negative forces.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh my gosh, you realize that
you shifted your frequency.
Yeah,
you shifted your frequency.
It's so amazing. It's so absolutely amazing. And I one of my main things now that I just tell everybody, like, I feel free. I really do. I feel my mind feels free. And anytime that I feel that I'm not feeling free, I stop. I instantly stop. And I find out why. And majority of the time, it's because I'm trying to please someone else, or I'm listening to somebody outside of myself that wants me to do something that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, is that something that I need to do? Majority of the time, it's no, you don't need to do anything. If I choose to do it, then that's my choice. And then it starts flowing again. It's so amazing. I do it. And then you gotta tell me.
Yes. No, I'm to do that.
It is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, the feeling and just that freedom. And we have that choice, and it's so beautiful. It really is. I say beautiful so often. It is. It's so beautiful. It is.
So thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so sorry. I do have a next appointment that I have to prepare for.
Yeah.
But is there like any last minute some things you want to talk about before we wrap up?
No, I think we actually, I was going to ask about your acting, and, I think you spoke a lot about your acting and what's coming up for you, which is beautiful. I can't wait to hear more about what's coming up for you.
Well, what's coming up is the comedy festival in New York. I mean, but that's happening in June. But of course, like I'll be like working on things between then. But I often don't like mention anything until like things are done.
Yep.
So, but yeah, but for the time being, people can catch me on Showtime's Dexter New Blood episodes, not 5 and 9. Yeah, so I actually have lines. I play, Dr. Patel, Dr. Selena Patel. So that's really exciting. And my other episodes, TV ones for my man, I'm in 2 episodes of that. That's still like in syndication, so people can see that. And actually, believe it or not, Total Blackout was shot 10 years ago, but you could actually still see the people. I get like messages from people saying, "Hey, I saw you on Total Blackout." And I'm like, "What? That's still airing?" So that's still in syndication in different parts of the world. So, or I'm not, honestly, I have no idea what networks they're on, but yeah, but I think they're international as well. Total Blackout is. Before in the States, it was on the Sci-Fi Channel, but it was also on Hulu. So yeah.
So I'm sure it's still available on Hulu.
Yeah, it's still available.
Hulu
Yeah,
seems to just keep stuff. So
yeah. So
I'm sure it's still available there. I think so. Let me just close out this with 3 quick questions for you.
Okay.
That I try to ask, all the guests that come on here. So one is, what do you desire to see more of in the next 3 years when it comes to people awakening and like healing themselves?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I feel, what do I want to see more of? I think better communication or sort of being more understood by people when they're also awakened. It helps relationships, it helps to improve your relationships.
Yeah.
And understanding of one another.
Yeah, that
opens so many, because it lowers, any fears or any preconceived notions that you might have. Yeah. And just feel into the person versus like judging them, judging them based on their color, what their hair looks like, their accent, or whatever, all of these like clouded judgments that are called sort of boxes that we put into people. I mean, everyone does it. You know what I mean? So we all do it. So I think like, that would just be wonderful. Like and I feel like communication would get so much better between people.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. I completely agree with you. So what or who is a daily inspiration to you?
Oh, what or who? I love that. Honestly, music, man, music will put me in the right space.
Yes.
When I really, really need it and I'm in the mood to just really hear certain songs, music is what does it for me. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Okay, and so the last question I have is, what 3 action steps would you recommend people take after watching this episode today?
Oh, that's man. We gave people quite a few nuggets of wisdom, didn't we? 3 action steps.
Yeah.
Well, just as a recap, we mentioned, self-love, right?
Yeah.
So the action steps for that would be like to pay attention to, any little nuggets of insight that your body is telling you to do that you repeatedly keep ignoring. That's what you need to do. So like if your body keeps saying, like I use myself as an example, if your body keeps saying, go for a walk, please, like just go for a walk, get more sun, connect with nature, do that, because that will solve one of, a problem that you might possibly be experiencing, an ailment or a symptom that you're experiencing. You might be experiencing like chronic fatigue. And, you know, and just simply giving yourself a walk and connecting and getting that vitamin D might give you some, you know, energy naturally. You know, otherwise you will have to take medication or something like that to really correct the issue. But if you like do something consistently every week, every day, and one also, and to help that, like what I've started to implement again is to do a and this is to go off what you said earlier, T, do a must do, try to do, and if there's time to do list every day. Is also like, you know, you can send yourself an email and do like a morning check-in, and then do the evening check-in. So like whatever it is that you said you were going to do, you know, like see if you actually did it at the end of the day. And if not, like type in why. I was like, okay, well, this came up and I only had time to do it. Like, and also I also like to do it within an 8-hour time period. So it'll take me 2 hours to do this. It'll take me 5 hours to do that. And it'll take me an hour to do this, you know? And then if something comes up in between, it's like, oh, okay, actually I got this done within a half hour. So, and then I had like an hour and a half to do this other thing that came up.
Yeah.
You know, that way you'll get to know yourself better and know how long for you it takes. And my previous boss at my old company actually taught me that. And that actually helps in my personal life too. So that at the end of the day, you could just say, okay, you can highlight the things that you got done, and the things that you didn't get done could actually become tomorrow's must do, try to do if there's time to do.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And the third is to like try your best if you want to practice the art of manifestation. You know, the best way to do it, number one, be very practical at the beginning, especially if you're in flight or fight mode. Get yourself out of that flight or fight space so that you could properly manifest what you really want when you're not stressed. When you're stressed, you can forget it. You are not gonna manifest not even close to what you really want. Like those bigger dreams are not in reach when you're in that space. So do your best, you know, have hard conversations with yourself about your situation and what you really need and what you have to sacrifice in order to place yourself in a space that's not that isn't stressful. And throw time out the window, because it's like, listen, you know, it may actually have to take you 6 months to a year to put yourself in a space that's non-stressful, to actually finally, you know, make room for your desires. But you're going to reap so many rewards within that year of preparation. And by the time you're in that space to fully manifest or be ready to receive what you truly want, all of that work is still going to help in that situation, and it'll place you in an even better position to manifest something that you didn't even think you could ever manifest. But you have to take yourself, you have to have hard conversations and take care of yourself, and know that no one is coming to help you. Like, you're the only person that can get. Don't ever rely on some other person outside resource, you know, person to get yourself out of stuff. When you rely fully on yourself, that's when you reap the best like rewards. You heal from a whole lot of, and that's how you like stop, you know, any repeated if you keep attracting like the same negative thing. Like, if you do the spiritual work to really, you know, look at, you know, what you're attracting and how you feel, in all of the negative seeds that were planted that you have to undo, then you'll stop you know, experiencing the same lesson over and over and over again. So that's the benefit of actually doing the work, because you're going to reap spiritually, you're going to like grow so fast and so strong. And you'll be on the road to staying on your path too. Because in that time frame, hopefully you've done so much spiritual work that you learn to discern between, you know, your voice and maybe other people's voices in your head that were wrong in feeding you, that you were listening to like a voice that wasn't even you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like if you're an empath like me, I didn't know that I was an empath, and I didn't know that I could feel other people's feelings, and I can feel I can hear other people's thoughts sometimes too. And I didn't know to discern, you know, between my own and theirs. And it's like, I'm a happy person. Why am I feeling so sad? I'm a happy person. Why do I feel this pain? And it's like, because it's someone else's. So like, so when you do the inner work, you reap those rewards of getting to know yourself so much better.
Way more in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think,
I love it. I do. I love it. You know, we could talk for hours and hours and hours. I'm so grateful.
Me too.
So grateful. And we've had conversation before where we need to connect.
Oh, and we will. Yeah. I'm so happy you're here in Massachusetts. You're like so close.
I know, we're probably like 15, 20 minutes away from each other.
That's insane. I love it. I didn't know. I had no idea. For some reason, I imagined you somewhere else, like far away.
No, I'm right here. I'm right here, but I'm so grateful for having you and you sharing your energy with me and everybody who's watching. I will be sure to link all of your everything to to the video, so people can get in contact with you.
Okay, thank you.
And support you in your endeavors. And oh my gosh, and I'm excited to have you on again. Because like I said, we could just go on and on and on. And I love your vibe, and I know that we could talk about a lot more amazing things, and just help ourselves heal and help others do the same.
That's yep. I love your vibe too, and I'm so grateful for being on the show. I'm not crying. I just have
yes, you are.
No,
yes,
I literally have an allergy to air. The air is blowing in here right now. Thank you so much. I look forward to coming back to do this again. And we'll do lunch sometime, see each other in person. So that should be fun.
Yes, I can't wait. Excited. Okay. So we'll chat soon.
Thank you, Lady D. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too, sweetie.
Bye.